All right, let's dive into something that is, no joke, the absolute bedrock for making AI and automation actually work: API contract standardization. Now, I know that sounds super technical, but trust me, getting this right is the difference between an AI that's a game changer and one that just, well, fails. Let's get into it. So, let's start with the big question. We hear all this buzz about AI agents changing the world, but why do so many of them fall flat on their face in reality? The answer, and it's kind of shocking when you think about it, is that they literally don't understand what we're asking them to do. It's a communication breakdown at the most basic level. Okay, imagine this. You ask your coworker, hey, get me a coffee. Easy, right? They know you like lattes, they know where the good coffee shop is, they know the whole routine. They use context. But if you say get me a coffee to a machine, it's completely lost. It needs a command that is brutally literal, super strict, and leaves zero room for guessing. And bridging that gap? That's what this is all about. So here's the plan for today. First, we're going to cover why machines desperately need these rules. Then, we'll talk about a cool idea called the one-pool philosophy. After that, we'll get into the real nuts and bolts, defining those strict API contracts, standardizing how things fail, and finally, we'll see the massive payoff, moving from just calling endpoints to actually achieving outcomes.
All right, first up, why all the fuss about rules? Well, in the world of automation, being vague isn't just a small problem. It's a progress killer. It costs time, it costs money, and it stops amazing ideas in their tracks.
And here's why. When an API contract is fuzzy or vague, that AI agent is basically flying blind. It has no idea what it's allowed to do, how to do it without breaking something, or what on earth to do when an error pops up. So it's forced to guess. And let's be real, that guesswork almost always leads to spectacular failure.
So how do we fix this mess? It really takes a big shift in our thinking. We have to break down our services from their little isolated silos and bring them together under what the Bharat brand's internal guide calls the one-pool philosophy.
So what is this one pool? Just think of it like a library for everything your company's systems can do. It's one central, well-organized, and governed catalog. No more hidden APIs that only one team knows about. No more tribal knowledge. Everything, and I mean everything, is in one place, easy to find, and ready to be used.
Now, you can't just throw any old service into this pool. It has to earn its spot. It needs to be clearly described, not in tech speak, but in plain business terms. It has to be standardized so it looks and feels like everything else. It needs clear permissions. It has to be certified as safe for an agent to use. And it needs to be owned by a logical area of the business, not just stuck inside one random application.
Okay, this is where we get into the nuts and bolts. We're going to talk about defining those super strict API contracts. This is how we create that crystal clear language that our machines can finally understand perfectly.
Just look at this example of an input contract. This is how we kill guesswork. The agent knows the invoice ID has to be a string and it's required. The amount? It has to be a number, and not just any number. It has to be greater than 0. The currency can't just be dollars. It needs a specific ISO code. See? Every single rule removes ambiguity, making it basically impossible for the agent to mess up the request. And it works both ways. Check out this output contract. The agent is never left confused about what happened. The status isn't some random text. It can only be one of 3 things: approved, rejected, or needs review. The agent knows exactly what those mean, and even better, it knows the next action to take. It's never left wondering, okay, so what now? Now let's talk about something that is so important but almost always gets overlooked: standardizing how our systems fail. To get truly reliable automation, our failures have to be just as predictable as our successes.
We've all seen this one, right? The classic something went wrong error. For us, it's just frustrating. But for an AI agent, it's a brick wall, a total dead end. It provides no information, no path forward, nothing. It's basically the system just giving up.
But check this out. This is how you do it right. A single, standard set of error codes that every single service uses. Now, when something goes wrong, the agent gets a precise reason. If it gets invalid input, it knows, okay, my bad, I'll fix the data and try again. If it gets not authorized, it knows it means to ask for more permissions. Every code turns a dead end into a clear, actionable instruction. So, we do all this disciplined, technical work, we standardize everything. What's the big payoff? Well, this is where things get really exciting, because it completely changes how we think about what our systems can do. This quote from the guy just nails it. The goal isn't to just slap some AI on top of our messy old systems. No, the real goal is to first build a foundation of systems that are understandable, safe, and reusable. Once you do that, adding powerful AI isn't some chaotic hack. It's the natural, logical next step.
And this isn't just wishful thinking. There's a clear roadmap to get there. You start with an inventory of what you've got. Then you standardize everything we just talked about. You centralize it all in that one pool, and you enforce the rules. Only then, once that solid foundation is in place, do you expose those capabilities, and finally, you add agents to do the work.
And this right here is the punchline for the whole thing. This is the big mental shift. We stop thinking about low-level tech stuff like call this specific endpoint. Instead, we start thinking in terms of high-level business goals like approve this invoice. That shift is what unlocks everything. So, I'll leave you with this question to chew on. Forget about AI for just a second. Ask yourself this. Are your systems ready for a real conversation? Are they clear? Are they predictable? Because if you can say yes to that, you're not just building better software. You are literally building the foundation for the future. Thanks so much for watching.